and welcome to your messages for the week. Today is Sunday, the 24th of July, 2022. So we are now in Leo energy. And I don't know about you, but it feels good. I always associate Leo energy with the strength card, of course. And I think there's some strength to be found when you're on this journey. I know a lot of people are feeling like, you know, they're processing a lot of dense emotions and learning to love what is, and therefore being faced with things that they don't love, because the challenge is to love it as it is, right? So it does seem to be this constant processing and feeling emotions of the collective, your own. Obviously you are the collective, you are the universe, but you know, it does sometimes feel like, you know, there's this constant releasing and feeling emotions, processing emotions, seeing things from another perspective, learning to love what is, learning to observe your reactions and not you know, impulsively follow them through. It does seem to be a constant minefield in that way. And I know a lot of you watching have been experiencing that. But what I want to say today is that there's strength in each step. Do you not find? And I think really this is an energy of understanding that strength, that inner strength. And maybe we don't acknowledge how far we've come on our journeys, but just have a look around you. There will be things that used to trigger you and they don't anymore. There will be emotions that you will observe, not be triggered by, but observe in others that you don't feel anymore in yourself. Because you know, if you're watching somebody else experience an emotion and it triggers an emotion within you, that's your emotion still, okay? And it's triggering you to process your emotion. That once you have been triggered enough times to process that emotion yourself, you will then find that you can observe other people going through trauma, and maintain a level of love and compassion. I think that came up last week, actually. And that's what I think it's about, being able to maintain that feeling, that frequency, shall we say, that state of being, because it's a permanent, continual state of being, of love, being in love and compassion, even when you're observing other people going through trauma, because obviously you can then open up that love and compassion. You're giving it to them. You're expressing that love and compassion for them, to them, in their reality. Okay, so that's going to help them. So you are helping them, you know, you're helping them on their journey, you're helping them process their emotions, you're helping them process their trauma. But the big difference is it's not triggering anything in you, it's not causing any contraction in you. That's the point. That's where we want to get to, right? But if you have a look around your life, I think you'll see where you've made progress in that direction. You'll see things going on and you actually being able to, nope, I'm not triggered. I'm not triggered at all. The next step, of course, is to acknowledge I'm not triggered. Not only am I not triggered, but I actually feel love and compassion for whoever it is or whatever it is, you know, because you're looking at it from a soul level and you can give thanks to it and just love it where it is, loving what is. It's about loving what is. And so I think that every time we process something, every time we do this inner work, I want to say, do this inner work. I've been seeing a lot of people sort of despairing at the inner work. It's not something to despair at. It's something to congratulate yourself on, because every time you do some inner work, what do I mean by that? I mean, every time you release a trapped emotion or you release a limiting belief, or you observe what's going on without being triggered, all of which, if you're new to my channel, welcome. You can check out on my Lessons in Awakening. I have a whole series here on YouTube called Lessons in Awakening. So you'll be able to you know, fill your boots with that kind of thing there, if you don't know what I'm talking about. Also, I have a whole section on self-healing as well. So if you want to release those emotions yourself, you can see all sorts of different techniques and ways to self-heal, I want to say. So let's get on with the cards, shall we? Let's get on with the cards for this week. Because I think there is definitely something about loving what is and loving yourself and appreciating the progress that you've made. This is about appreciating the progress that you've made, because life just gets a little bit easier. You know, you might think, oh, there's more emotions to be done. And I mean, I'm on my healing journey, right? And I've been healing all sorts of, you know, releasing all sorts of deep and low density, I want to say, emotions. The one I did recently about the guilt and shame is within you. That was a powerful one for me. But my point is that every time we do that, it lifts us. And when it lifts us, of course, our frequency rises, and then that creates a higher frequency outside of us. So every time we make this shift, something's going to change outside of us, because it's got to resonate with us. So every time we release a trapped emotion of guilt and shame, for example, because they are the lowest frequency, right? But every time you release some trauma, or every time you perceive things a different way and realize that you didn't need to hold on to all that story. There's a big story in your past that's keeping you tied down to victimhood and I went through this and woe is me and all of that. That's all story. You can let go of all of that. You instantly feel lighter and you realize that you created it all. Let's just forget about it, because you know you've forgiven everybody else. That's also come up lately, the importance of forgiveness on different levels. You've forgiven yourself, and then you've realized that you never needed to forgive anyone. I'll put a link in the description and the video in the end screen to that video as well, because I think that's still very relevant on forgiveness. But then you're basically shifting yourself into higher levels of consciousness, and then your reality changes. Your reality has to change. And if you're doing it slowly, your reality will change slowly. But if you're having big aha moments, your reality will change in big ways, right? So it's that I want to focus on this week. It's that celebration of the changes coming in, the progress being made, and loving yourself for the work that you're doing, and loving what is, because everything is just getting more and more beautiful, more and more loving, more and more caring. This is us bringing heaven on earth, onto earth, bringing heaven to earth. Okay, this is us manifesting those wonderful consciousnesses into our physicality. So let's focus on that for this week. And I think that's it. Two came out, and I think that's it. They're face down. Wow, two major arcana cards. That's powerful already. Look which ones we've got. Which way should I put it so that it's the right way on the video? So the first one, the Emperor. Right, the Emperor is all about stepping into your power. Okay, and I want to say that once you've released something, once whatever it is, just enjoy the newfound power that comes from that. What I've just been saying is that every time we raise our frequency in some way or another, it doesn't matter how. It could be just, you could be having a really bad day and then going for a walk in nature, breathing in, doing some breath work, maybe doing some yoga, doing some jogging, doing some swimming, whatever it is, some writing, some channeling, whatever it is that you do to make yourself feel good. You might be making your little models, whatever it is. You might be painting a picture, playing a musical instrument. You know what it is that you do, but you know, you'll feel your vibration rising. And once you've done that, you've given yourself more power. Your power lies in your frequency. So by raising your frequency and doing whatever you can to raise your frequency, is giving you more power. So even if you've just had, you might be feeling really quite low, but you've just had a little walk in nature or something like that, that's giving you some power. What are you going to do with that power? Use that power to create more power and create more power. Do you see? It's like, don't just have that power and then go back into the situation that you were in. Use that power that you've created, that you've manifested by raising your frequency, however little. Use that power to expand you into greater power by learning to love what it is. So if you have to go back to work, or back into a relationship that you're not happy with at the moment, or back into an area that you don't like, or whatever it might be, or back into, should we say, the 3D world because you've got chores to do, use that power that you found in nature to keep you up there, to help you view everything from a different perspective, to help you view all the things that did trigger you, all the things that contracted you. Look at them differently now. Look at them as children that want to be loved. Look at them as a reflection of a part of you that is still not awake. Is that possible? You know, just have a look at them with a different view. You don't have to interact with everything. You know, you can observe it and just feel it. And it's okay if you feel the separation. I mean, we're not separate from anything. We're not separate from anyone. And if there is something that you don't like, it will be triggering a reflection in you. So if you can observe it, when I say separate yourself, I don't mean separate yourself in a being sense. I mean separating yourself by observing it, realizing that it's a movie. You can move around your daily chores in town and view everything like it's a movie, but you are an actor in that movie, so you can be playing the love spreader. The power is within you. That's his energy. He has a very masculine energy as well, and I think he comes up sometimes to remind us there's been all this work on the divine feminine, and as if we need to get away from the masculine. I think what we need to understand is we've been society has been kind of governed, shall we say, by toxic masculine energy, obviously, and he's a representation of authoritarian masculine energy. So we do want to move away from any toxic masculine energy, but he can also have a father figure element to him, and we can use that masculine energy in its divine form. So let's focus on divine masculine energy, because let's be honest, I think men have had a really raw deal, haven't they? You know, that they're meant to be this, you know, non-emotional whatever. I mean, we're all souls, right? We're all souls walking each other home, regardless of the gender that we've chosen to incarnate into in this lifetime. Look in the eyes and see the soul, okay? Don't get confused by looking at the gender that we've chosen for this lifetime. It's not about that, but it is about, and I've said this before, I think recently, the divine masculine and the divine feminine coming together to create the divine. Everything that is created from the two energies of light and dark, masculine, feminine, yin and yang, whatever you want to call it. And it's the embodiment of both in harmony. It's the equilibrium that can be found between opposing forces. Oh, that wanted to come out. So let's make sure that we've understood that. I'm getting that there is an equilibrium. So there's peace and harmony to be found between opposing forces. I think we can use that in all areas of life. Okay, so this is about enjoying, creating, appreciating, having gratitude for, loving, the equilibrium between opposing forces. That is light and dark, and masculine and feminine, and everything that is created is the divinity. The divine is created through that equilibrium of opposing forces. Wow, I think that's actually, if we muse on that for a while, I think we'll find that that's quite a profound one, isn't it? That's what he's telling me. That's what he's telling me today. And the second card is the Chariot. And what I love about the Chariot, the Chariot is also saying what I've already been saying. The Chariot is about moving on. Now, there is a card in the deck, the Six of Swords, which is very much about moving on, moving into tranquil waters. But that card is about moving on physically. It's about moving on, like moving away from a job, moving on from a partner, moving away from an area. it's very much physical movement in the physical world, moving to somewhere better, or a better relationship, or out of a negative relationship, or just moving away from conflict, because of course the Six of Swords comes after the Five of Swords, which is mental conflict. So we're talking about that card is talking about moving on. That's when you're going to be moving house, or changing relationships, or leaving a job, or something like that, which we know there's been a lot of going on this year. But this one, because it's a major arcana, is about moving on. But I see this card as being much more moving on spiritually, moving on in the non-physical, I want to say. He's about moving on in the non-physical. Let's say it that way. So basically, he's about moving on to higher levels of consciousness. I usually talk about the division. This is the division that we've been talking about, the equilibrium between the opposing forces. Okay, wow. So he's moving on to find equilibrium between the opposing forces, because he's not trying to get rid of one. He's not trying to get one to be better than the other, the feminine over the masculine, or the light over the dark, or whatever. There is no right and wrong. That beautiful Rumi quote, I want to say again, I think I said it last week as well, but it's worthy of a second a second quote, is that there is a place beyond right and wrong. There is a field, I think he says, there is a field beyond right and wrong. I'll meet you there. It might not mean a field, physical field, as in where the cows live. It could be a field as in an energetic field, a field as in an area of concept, or an area of study, or something like that. But there is a field beyond right and wrong. I'll meet you there. That's what this card is saying. He's moving, he's in a chariot, and it's beyond the right and wrong. It's finding that equilibrium that comes from balancing opposing forces. Wow, that's definitely the message for this week, isn't it? And if you look in here, the canopy here, it's got stars on it. And I very much see this card as he's bringing this heaven, this is heaven, he's bringing it to earth. Okay, he's moving on, bringing this heaven to this earth. So this is a duality. This symbolizes the duality we have in the 3D, in the third dimensional reality. And he's bringing heaven, and he's moving on, and he's moving on powerfully, and he's moving on in a chariot, and it's a major arcana card. So it's very much about moving on spiritually, energetically, to moving on in our journey of bringing heaven to earth. That's what's happening. So that's brilliant, because that's what I was saying earlier on about enjoying the progress that you're making. Have a look where your progress has got, even if you are having, emotional days, or, experiencing a lot of healing, and you're learning to love what is. I mean, these are all spiritual lessons. We're doing that, but have a look around you, and you'll see that your tribe are coming in. You'll see that the right people are coming in at the right time for the right reasons. You'll find that the right messages are coming in, because you're creating the whole lot, right? So what you're doing is you're moving into higher levels of consciousness, where your intuition is more tuned in, your intuition is heightened, and you're following it subconsciously or consciously, it doesn't matter, but you're following it. And when you follow your intuition, everything falls into place. So and that's where we're bringing heaven to earth. So he is assigned to say that you're moving on, you're doing your bits. I get quite emotional when I say this, but if you're watching this video, you're on your path. You might not know exactly where you're going, but you're going in the right direction. He's the chariot. He's come to tell you that, oh God, I feel really emotional now. He's come to tell you that you are going in the right direction. He's asking you to focus more on the joy that's coming in with these releases, with these the moments of the tiredness and the exhaustion, and the moments of processing all those dense emotions. He's come to remind you and to let you know that this is what we came here to do, to release this density. And he's asking us to have a look and see where the progress lies. You'll see it if you look around you, look at the people around you. You've got the right people around you. You might still be moving away from some of the wrong people, but you have the right people around you to help you. Have a look what you're doing work-wise. Something's shifted. You've either changed jobs, or you're about to change jobs, or you're exploring new avenues of growing on what you've already learned. Maybe you've got your own business and it's expanding. in some way or another, or you're going off on a new heart-based direction, have a look and see. Have a look and see how far you've come, not only in your whole lifetime, but especially in the last couple of years. Have a look at how far you've come. Love yourself for doing that. Love yourself for loving yourself. Love yourself a little bit more for loving yourself on your journey, and realizing that there is more joy in your life now than before. There is more understanding. There is more gratitude. You've been releasing a lot. You've been healing a lot, and now you're getting the benefits. You're moving on to a higher frequency, a higher level of consciousness, and we need to look at the beauty, the vibrant colors and the love. Just have a look around you at how things are different, things are better. You know, we don't need to keep focusing on the things that we're moving away from, because we're all moving away from what we don't resonate with anymore. But look, we're all here moving away. So now we're creating what we want to create, finding the people that are going to provide you with organic fruits and vegetables, you know, so you don't have to use the supermarkets. That's been a big one for me personally. So there's the progress. I've always wanted to have organic fruits and vegetables, you know, in a box. I got really quite excited this week when I picked up a box of organic fruit and vegetables. It's just, you know, it's a little change. It's a massive change, because your soul, you're nurturing your soul on two levels. You're nurturing your soul because you're eating organic, but I'm also nurturing my soul because I've been wanting to stop going to the supermarkets for a long time. And now my soul is so happy to do that. And I might nip back into a supermarket occasionally if I want to. I'm not going to beat myself up. I'm not going to, what's the expression, cut my nose off to spite my face. But I'm creating the new. I have a new channel whereby I can get these things from, and new people that can provide them, who are following their hearts, who are on their journey, who are part of the tribe. Do you see what I'm getting at? It just fills you with more joy when you can make those changes, and you don't have to make them overnight. I mean, that's just one example. I'm giving a small example, but it's one that's taken a long time. So it doesn't matter. Time, remember, is just wibbly wobbly lines of illusion. So it doesn't matter. But what I'm saying is, let's have a look around this week at all the things that have improved in our life, and they've improved because we followed our heart. And you followed your heart. Keep following your heart. You're doing a grand job. You're on the right track. And if you want a private reading with more details for you, then get in touch. I'll put a link in the description. And if you're new to energy healing and you don't have a clue what I'm on about, you wouldn't have got this far with the video. But if you are new to energy healing, I'll put a link in the description to my 2 books, Heal Yourself to Happiness, which is free to download from my website at deborahjanesutton.com, and my second book, Heal Your Soul. We've just talked about how the soul is nurtured by making certain changes. So I highly recommend the second book as well, Heal Your Soul. And when I have some time, I might get the third one out of here and into physical form, shall we say. Okay, so lots of love to everybody. Have a wonderful week. I love you all. Bye for now.